Hello, this is Robyn. Welcome to my channel, Heart Guided Intuition. And here is a general reading for 3 days, May 6th, 7th, and 8th, which covers the full moon. I know that sometimes people who are sensitive to the full moon, like I am extremely sensitive to it, can feel it days before and days after, which is what I felt it. This is why I didn't do like a daily reading. I was so looking forward to doing the daily reading, and oh my gosh, the 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 intensity that I was feeling from it was a Scorpio full moon, and I'm not an astrologer, but I know like basic astrology, and the Scorpio full moon is Scorpio goes deep, deep diver, old, like mysterious, deep, dark stuff can emerge. And the full moon, kind of has a magnetic pull to the earth, whatever it is. I'm not a scientist either, but, there's an effect on the tides. So things within us can arise, things within us can come up. So I felt it very powerfully, so much so that I was unable to do daily readings until today. So what I thought I would do, because that was such a powerful full moon, if you're watching this and you found that you also were affected by the full moon, or even if you didn't, maybe weren't so aware of it, but something came up for you in the last 3 days, the 6th, 7th, and 8th of May 2020. I want to do my reading today. I've already shuffled the cards and pulled them, is to ask, what do we need to look at? What do we need to pay attention to and learn from whatever it is that came up for us during the time of the full moon? So, okay, so that's what this reading is all about. It's a full moon reading. The Scorpio full moon, the full flower moon, I believe it was a super moon, which means it's closer to the earth. So it looks larger. It appears a little larger. I saw it as it was rising. It was amazing. It was golden, right over the horizon. So anyway, this reading is about the full moon and what it is that came up for any of us. This reading is not just for me. I was able to kind of focus and bring my focus outward to ask for a question for all of us. Okay, so if you're ever wondering like why I might not do a reading on a particular day, and this is true of most tarot readers, a lot of us, there are certain days we can't do readings because either uh, our own issues will come up in the cards, or because the energies are so intense, or we're going through something so intense that we can't kind of tune into the greater message that wants to come from spirit. So I want to always do my best to try to come from integrity, and so that's why I waited to do this reading. I wanted to actually do it before, but I was starting to feel so intense. So anyway, I've pulled the cards. If you happen to hear any external noise, apologies, because I do live in a very busy neighborhood. So anyway, so I'm going to get on with the reading. So it's a general reading for May 6th, 7th, and 8th. The full moon was on the 7th, so I'm covering the period of the day before and the day after. So 6th, 7th, and 8th. Okay, so I'm going to turn over the cards now. Give me just a minute to kind of let the, oh wow, to let the messages come through to me as I'm turning over the cards. Oh, beautiful. Huh. I know you're like, show me, show me. Maybe you're not like that. If you're watching this, you probably are. Oh, wow. Oh, beautiful. Again, I feel like that's there. Actually, let's, you know, wow, this is big. This is big. Okay, bear with me. I'm turning these over, and I'm also using another an extra oracle card deck that I haven't used in a really long time. I've had this deck for years. It's the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle, and I love this one. I love this one. It was given to me as a gift many years ago. So please bear with me. Okay, so these are all working together. And then I have other oracle cards I'm using. So I use a combination of tarot cards. If you've been watching my readings, you know this. A combination of tarot cards. I tend to stick to the Gilded Tarot, even though I have other decks. And then I use a spirit deck. And then I use a combination of different oracle cards to kind of give extra guidance and meaning to the messages that are coming through. So the first set of cards, Knight of Swords. Now, this can mean a really fast energy coming in. It can mean an air sign, but it doesn't have to be, because the court cards can either mean people in a reading, or they can mean an energy. And this is an energy of something coming in real quick. It can feel a little combative. It can feel slightly like, whoa, jarring, a little jarring, the energy that comes in. But it's coming up with this card of stability, many different things coming together to build something. This is actually very, very stable. The energy of this card is something that combines different things, different components to form something that is incredibly stable, even though it doesn't appear to be. So what I would say is that there's something coming in real quick for this energy over the full moon, or something that came in, let's say 6th, 7th, and 8th. Very quick energy came in to bring a stability, and it required a trust. This is the Catch Me card. It required a trusting that whatever quick, whether it was a communication or some kind of energy or something that happened very quickly that was a little jarring but caused a stability. It brought in something stable, even though it didn't feel like that in the beginning. It's like rocking the boat, or rocking something, tipping something to get it to be even, to get it to be still. It's like almost like having to this is like, say you need to bang on the, I don't know, I see this in movies, bang on the jukebox to make it, play or something. What is that from? I have no idea. Okay, then there's the Catch Me card, which is like, it says trust, surrender, leap of faith into the unknown. She's taking, it's a lot like the Fool card in the tarot. So she's taking a leap of faith, just trusting. It required a leap of faith. So something about this full moon period, something quick that was jarring, that brought stability and required a leap of faith. Then there's action that was taken, or some kind of message, something having to do with creativity, passion, a new endeavor, something that's new, or a naivety. This is also a student card, something that's brand new, a naivety in regard to, now she's the career girl, but I don't think this is a business reading. It might be for some of you a beginning, shifting the way you see a business, but coming together with others, coming together and celebrating with others. This is the 3 graces. Cooperative ventures with friends, joy sharing new partnerships that are fun. So this is a joyful card. This is a lot like the 3 of Cups in the tarot. It's a beautiful, joyful card. So after whatever came in that was jarring and fast and unexpected, that was like, hey, now this is like, it's going to lead to stability, and it's going to require your trust. And you don't have to set out on this alone. You're not alone. We're not alone, because I'm including myself in this reading. I didn't do this for myself. I did this for everybody. But this is the energy for the 6th, 7th, and 8th, the full moon in Scorpio, May, which was May 7th. So the three graces, it's bringing together. It's coming from a place of separateness and aloneness to joining, celebration, cooperation, and as a result, oh, and let me say the other here's the card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Building blocks. This card came up. This is a woman who's like on top of building blocks they're already stable. They're already there, and she's continuing to build. She's continuing to trust and build and have faith. Look, she's not even like really, she's kind of posing. She's posing, and she's not even worried about the fact that this is being some structure formation, or, when you pour the foundation of a building, it's already sound. It's being built on something sound. It just requires a lot of trust. And when you come together with other people on this and realize you don't have to be alone, after you have that realization, you don't have to be alone. This is the Ganesh Oracle. Energetic movement, joy, dancing, fun, celebration, which goes perfectly with the Fairy Oracle card. It's a coming together and a joyfulness. And when you come together with other people, it lightens your own heart and allows you to move forward. It's like shaking something loose. Something's been shaken loose that is going to cause more stability and more peacefulness, a more sound structure that, even though it doesn't seem like it might fit, it's actually extremely stable, and there's already a really strong foundation. Okay. And the last cards that came up, and this is interesting because this is the full moon reading. What do we need to pay attention to? Child of the Moon, forgiveness and transcending the ego. Child of the Moon, look at that, for the full moon reading, okay? Child of the Moon, and she's beautiful. Look at that. She's touching the moon. She's embracing the full moon. And in the tarot, and I like to make these comparisons between the oracle cards and the tarot cards because there's such strong symbolism over the course of centuries. It's like there is symbolism about certain objects, certain things, there's a symbolism embedded in certain images, certain things, excuse me. And the moon is, gentle, feminine. It doesn't shine its own light. It shines the sun's light. So child of the moon. And in the tarot, the moon card is about things that are mysterious, things that can be fearful, not really fully knowing the way forward, but having just enough light to move through. And that's where this trust card comes in. That's where this trust card, if you look behind her, it looks like there's a moon obscured with clouds. But she's trusting. She's trusting and she's moving forward. So Child of the Moon is about forgiveness, transcending the ego. And it's about there is a trust and a surrender involved. Whatever we thought we had to be or had to do, whatever we thought up here in our monkey brains that we are, what our life had to look like, something was rocked. Something was with this full moon. Something was shaken. And out of it, if we allow ourselves to surrender to that, as intense and as, that Knight of Swords, as intense as that might have felt, it's leading to a much more stable foundation within ourselves, with who we know we are, with our truth. Maybe it shook apart some misconception we had or have been holding on to since we were children. Maybe it shook apart some old stuff. That's what transcending the ego is. Shake off. Let it be shaken and fall away and ease into that peace of knowing who you are underneath the old stories, the old stuff, the old wounds. I feel like this full moon brought up a lot for a lot of people. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it. And the fact that this came up, child of the moon, forgiveness, and it's forgiving ourselves too for holding on to these things, because it's almost like our old stories and our old insecurities and our old fears of, am I worthy? Can I, am I ready? Am I good enough? Can I let go of these old stories that were given to me at a time when maybe they saved me. Maybe these old beliefs saved me. Maybe they served me somehow to believe them. But at this time, right now, whoever was shaken with this new understanding and this new truth of who we are, and bits of old crap just flew off, allowed us to transcend the ego, and is allowing us to forgive ourselves and come to a place of self-acceptance and self-love and knowing what we're worth. The next card that came up, is just so cool how these come up, is this is the Six of Swords. And the six, I feel like, is stability, but it's motion. Stability and motion. And she's moving. Look at that big, bright, full moon. The water is equated with emotions. The swords are thoughts, fears, ideas. Yeah, she's taking all that she is, but she's taking charge. She's in her own boat. She's going over the water during a full moon. She's saying, you know what? I'm moving on from this. I'm moving on from what was painful. I'm going to move away. That was from what was stressful, what was painful, those old ways of being, those old ways of thinking that at one point in my life served me. Even though they were painful back then, maybe they served me. But right now, they are no longer serving me. So I'm moving on. I'm going to get a whole new set of thoughts, beliefs, ideas about myself. I'm going to create new stories under the light of the full moon, that brilliant, beautiful flower moon. I'm not going to let my emotions get to me and pull me back into old ways of thinking and old ways of being. This is the very important message for now. And it's interesting because the next card that came up from the spirit deck is the beach house. This almost always, every time this comes up, this does not come up in many readings when I do them for people, but the beach house, Okay? You know where she's going over water in her boat? She's going to the beach house. And what does that mean symbolically? That means that she's found peace. She's found peace that maybe only she knows how to get there. Because in each one of us, in every single one of us, we are the only ones that can shift our way of thinking, shift how we want to see life, say that I do not choose any longer to live by these old wounded thoughts and stories and patterns. I'm making a choice. This is the surrender card. Yep, I'm going to embrace the energy of that supermoon. And I'm going to move away from toxic old stories willingly. She is rowing her own boat. That's why I love this deck, because in some of the other tarot decks, she is actually there's a man rowing the boat and she's sitting there. Sometimes she's sitting there with a child. But in this deck, she's doing it herself. Under the light of the full moon, she's like, I am moving on in an inward way. Not so much, sometimes this card can mean a physical move, but it really means a shift of our thoughts, our feelings, our ideas, our beliefs, old belief patterns that no longer serve us now. We're moving on from that, and we are going to find a place of peace. And like, wow, I can't believe I got to this. This is the message for it. And the last card that came out, it's a color oracle card. Connect to your deepest inner knowing. And it's magenta. Look at that beautiful magenta. And look at the center of this flower. It's like, go deep. Look deep. Look inside. It's almost like if this were our heart or our spirit, the flower, the layers of petals. We're looking at the center here, and these petals, and this was the full flower moon. This full moon was a supermoon, and it's the full flower moon. Flower moon offering us an opportunity to go deep. Let those petals open. Let all that stuff just shed off of us. We deserve this peace. It's almost like this card this is the full flower moon, okay? And it's opening for us to, this is our heart. Look at this beautiful rich red. It's magenta, but it's a shade of red tinged with pink. Pink, unconditional love. It's allowing us to open up, just like this full moon did. And whatever came and shook apart our old stories, our old beliefs, our old wounds, and allowed us to free ourselves from ego and surrender. And say, I'm moving on the inside to this place of peace, to this place near the water where I'm safe, I'm held in safety, I'm held in love, and this was a powerful reading, man. I feel like, so the message for this Scorpio full moon in Scorpio in May, it was May 7th, 2020, and I'm making this after the fact, just like I said at the beginning of the video. The energy was just so intense that I couldn't even make the video. But I know a lot of people felt this because I've heard it from others. And the opportunity here is to allow our old woundedness and old thoughts and beliefs that are untrue to fall away, so that we can embrace a new peace, a new sense of peace. And there's already a foundation for it. Whatever we're moving into, we are equipped to build it because there's already a foundation for it. And it's going to be extremely stable and bring a lot more stability into our lives. This was a pretty powerful reading, and I hope it resonated. I hope it made sense. I hope it was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate every single like, every single subscribe. I appreciate every single person who, uh, who watches. And thank you so much for being here. May you be safe. May you be well. So peace, love, and blessings to every single one of you. Thank you again. Okay.